I'm not originally from Utah. As a kid, I grew up mostly in California, just a small town on the Central Coast. My family moved to Salt Lake City when I was in high school. So I did finish high school in Salt Lake. And then I moved to Utah County after I got married. I was in my early 20s, which I'm no longer married. I'm now divorced. But for law school, I went to BYU for law school. For my undergrad, I didn't do like kind of a normal college thing. I had to work mostly. So I took classes like on and off. And then finally, after my divorce, I went back to school because I was working as a real estate agent, which had been great. But I was worried about not having sort of a steady, reliable income. And so I went back to school thinking that I would teach history and then continue to do real estate on the side. It was there. I had a history professor that encouraged me to think about going to law school. So I really took his suggestion to heart, and started thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, I was actually like, yeah, actually, I think that's a really good fit in terms of kind of my personality and being able to kind of have a career that sort of intersects with things that I care about. At this point, I was 40 years old. Why have I never thought about this? And just having to think through, gosh, I think I just put it out of my mind as a kid, thinking, I grew up in a single mom home. There were three of us kids, and we didn't have a lot of money. My dad actually went to prison when I was young, so he was just totally out of the picture. I just thought, well, kids like me don't go to law school. I even remember thinking when we were little, close to kind of when all this stuff was going on with my dad, my younger sister being like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, and just like laughing at her and thinking, even at my own child, probably 9-year-old brain, thinking, oh, she's so naive. Thinking, how isn't that cute? Just thinking kids like us don't become lawyers. That decision as a kid, never thought about it again until my professor encouraged me to think about it. So honestly, I think most women that were in my position probably wouldn't have had the option even if they wanted to. I was fortunate in that I was married for 18 years before my divorce. My husband was able to get multiple degrees while we were married, and we were able to accrue assets when the laws at least come far enough where I wasn't completely financially devastated by divorce. I had assets. I had a house, a big, beautiful house that I loved that I could sell to afford to go to law school. And that was huge. And then I received child support and alimony. If I hadn't had those things, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it here because BYU is just a full-time program. Working, being a single mom and working and trying to go to law school full-time would have just been, it's physically impossible. Unless I had maybe family members or something that could care for my children, then maybe, but I didn't have that. I was lucky. I just kind of lucked out in that my circumstances were such that I could overcome those obstacles. But I would say probably the vast majority of women in my situation, like it would be virtually impossible. The financial obstacles start before you can even get in, right? Because you have to do the LSAT and that costs money. I mean, right now I'm living on savings and my savings is quickly dwindling. One of my children just graduated high school and she's 18. So my child support just got cut in half. So my budget is super tight. Having even just like that bar prep being covered and not have to worry about that makes a big difference for being able to survive through the summer until I can start working again. Because really, for me, if I don't pass the bar, like it will be financially devastating. If I can't start being paid as an attorney in the fall, there's going to be some serious problems. Whatever financial help I can get while I'm taking time off to study for the bar is the fact that UCLI has a very structured mentorship program. It's been huge, and my mentors are amazing. And it's nice because I don't have family or close friends that are lawyers. Like it's great to have these guys that they even said to think of them like as my brothers or whatever. I can go to with stupid questions to figure out all of the weird cultural things in the legal field. I do think there's still a lot of barriers if you're poor. I hope that that changes over time. It is true, the more money you have, the better you're going to do in law school, and then the better job you're going to get and make more money. It's just like this cycle. So yeah, I think equity kind of looks like evening that playing field a little bit and taking steps to directly confront these realities that are playing into these statistics that are off.